I just found out my grocery order is coming earlier than I expected. I had put in for 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's going to be here at 8:30. So I thought I had time for a shower. But I just quickly got dressed in case I end up talking to the person. But they do a door drop, which means they put it on the step. I don't ask for a handoff. I did for a while only because one day when they were doing a door drop, they dropped it at some random house, and it took a while for me to get my groceries. I had to call the store. They had to refill the order, the whole thing. So I don't do that anymore. But I'm trying to get back on the meal plan bandwagon, and the truth is I go on and off that wagon all the time, but it was actually Yvonne who was like, all right, we need a meal plan. So she made us a meal plan, and that makes it so much easier. That is the hardest part, and I really think it's because anytime you have to really think about thinking, will you have to, brushing your teeth isn't hard because you just automatically do it every day. But anytime something is not automatic, it makes it so much harder. It takes so much more energy because it takes mental energy at the end of the day where you're not at your best and it's just easy to go get takeout. So she made us a meal plan, and then I could just go through the house, find out what we already had, and get the stuff we don't have. Now, I usually like to look at what we have first, but where she's pregnant and nauseous, I was like, we need to do something with boneless breasted chicken, and she was like, ugh. So I just let it go because it's in the freezer. It'll be fine. I'll plan something at the end of this meal plan to do with it. It helped me so much that she did the meal plan. So I'm going to get the groceries in, and I'll show you what we got. And but first, I'll show you that meal plan. Pork tacos, which we put them over rice, we put them in a shell, we might put them on Tostitos. Everybody kind of does their own thing. And then homemade pizza. We got some homemade pizza dough in the refrigerator that we're going to use. And then they were going back and forth. Creasy wanted chicken soup. Yvonne wanted soupa. I'm actually going to do the chicken soup because I already had skin on thighs that were on sale, and then they're in the freezer. So I want to use those up, and then at the end of this meal plan, I will do the zuppa. Chili, which Yvonne is going to make. Let's just get rid of one of those L's. Oops. Okay, I got rid of both of them. Anyways, that says chili. And Yvonne's making that because I have decided I don't cook on Thursdays. It's just a little break for me. Homemade mac and cheese, chicken wings. I hope that's not supposed to be a chicken. That's funny. And then for Sunday, Cuban rice and beans, super easy. And my husband does that. That's another night off from cooking. And honestly, he usually does the chicken wings. I definitely do the homemade mac and cheese. I'll do the soup. Everybody will do their own pizza, and I will do the pork tacos. Perfect timing. I can get the groceries in, get them put away, and then go up and take my shower. I'm also taking Yvonne today. She is going to a pregnancy resource center for her first time. We wanted to get her there so much earlier, but with her sicknesses and such, and it's like a 30-minute drive, we were unable to do that. So she starts today. She'll be taking kind of like birth prep classes as well as parenting classes. You get points for every class you take. It's all a video, and every time you turn in a worksheet that reviews the video, you get points, and you can spend them in the store they have there on gently used clothes, diapers, formula, baby furniture, anything that you need. So such an amazing program, and she's actually meeting with one of my best friends, so it's definitely someone I know I can trust. It's actually someone who visited us in Nicaragua when we were securing the adoption of our 4 youngest kids. And it's just kind of a full circle moment, So we'll look forward to that. There's so much to do today. Reset, reset, reset. So as you can see, I did not get a ton of groceries. I didn't need a ton. So we'll get these in the house and I'll show you what we got. I would have loved to have gotten my refrigerator cleaned out. And I would love to tell you I got it cleaned out before I did this, but I did not. So we're just gonna do the best we can. I'm gonna have to go through and repackage some of the meat and freeze it, so it will get done eventually. So right now I'm just organizing things for the haul to be able to show you all that I have. It's kind of something we all do when we share hauls. And I kind of wanted to have it so that you can see my thinking and what I purchased and what it's for. Because not everything is on my meal plan. For example, Rachel pretty much makes her own meals. And then there's me. I don't eat everything the family eats. So that makes things different. Some of these meats are not on the meal plan, definitely. And some of the things we already had, and it came to $201.45. Let's see. I get rewards, so on this visit it was only $1.21 in rewards, but so far this year to date, is $54 in savings already. I don't see that any coupons came off, but I wasn't like shopping sales. I was just shopping for what we absolutely needed. I got some non-fat Greek yogurt for Crecia, as well as some granola for her to put in it. And also Rachel can eat this granola too. Then she asked me for tofu, and she usually goes through 2 a week, and I got an extra one because there is an Optivia recipe that I want to make. And then she asked for tahini. Now this is for the Cuban rice and beans. We like the small red beans. And then this is the flavor packet that we use. This is not on the list, but it's kind of a staple. Oh no, yes it is. The chili. Yes, yes, yes. And then this is for the wings. Chicken thighs, Rachel eats a lot, so do I, and last week I was unable to get any, as well as we both needed more of the 99% fat-free turkey burger, so I got 2 of those, and I divide them up and wrap them in saran wrap and put them in a Gladlock bag. I have American cheese here for the mac and cheese, as well as elbows. And then I also have some shredded cheddar that I'll also use. Canadian white for the girls. They have been eating a lot of toast lately. This is our favorite rice. It's the Carolina jasmine rice. We were starting to run low. And then these are Rachel's gluten-free vegan bagels. These are her favorites, the sesame O'Dough's bagels. So I'll freeze one and put one in the fridge for her, as well as some tummy meds for her. Then this is her favorite dairy-free cheese, the mozzarella actually. And then she asked for the Mexican, and they substituted this. Right now her favorite gluten-free pasta is this jovial pasta. Trust me, she has tried them all. And then we have some fruit here for snacking. And I got 2 boxes of each of the coffees that we use, the New England Blueberry Cobbler and then the store brand Butter Caramel. Finally, we have Leo's little treats. He gets 1 a day. Yvonne asked for some root beer, so I got her the minis because otherwise I feel like I'm always picking up half-drank soda. And this one is caffeine-free, so that's best for her where she's pregnant. And then paper towels. And that is it. Okay, everybody, I'm going to turn my fan down here. So I'm supposed to be doing a reset today on my house for the next week. It's actually Friday, although you'll see it on Sunday. And it honestly doesn't matter what day we do our resets, right? And some of you might not even need to do a reset. So I'm going to give you a list of the things on my reset list just to give you ideas if you'd like to start doing a reset or if you want to revamp your own. But anyway, you know, all set to start today. And then my husband and I sat down. We were looking at bills. We were looking at our bank account last night. And I had closed an account for one of my kids that I was on from when he was under 18 and was putting it in my account so that I could transfer him the money to his current account. And last night, my husband was like, our balance doesn't look right. So, because I told him, I'm like, I never sent that money. He's like, oh no, then we have way less than we thought. So we're looking at the account and I'm like, that money, over $1,000, never went into our bank account. And I'm freaking out because it's not my money. I'm closing an account for one of my kids. And whenever that happens, I just feel such a deep sense of responsibility. And my anxiety went to, what if, something, my anxiety goes to, you're going to have to give him this money because it was your responsibility, right? Whatever. So I was super anxious last night. Thank God I still slept. Got up this morning. So one of the reasons to tell you this, besides it being keep an eye on your bank account, I went into the bank. They actually missed one number on my bank account. So it went into somebody else's bank account. So that poor person thought that they had won the lotto, maybe, unless if they keep track of their account. And now that money just left the building. Hopefully they call that person, explain it to him. Because to be honest, the person who did it didn't even apologize. She was right there. They told her what she did. But I think she was embarrassed. So grace abounds. I worked in banking years and years ago. And mistakes happen. I wasn't upset. I didn't present myself as upset. I did dress business casual, which I always do if I need to go deal with an issue. Anyway, long story longer. One of the reasons I am sharing this with you, the major reason is we always have the best intentions to get certain things done around the home. And certainly to have it decluttered and clean, it helps our peace of mind. I mean, studies have shown it helps our anxiety levels, our cortisol levels to be healthy. It's chemical in our body when we live in a mess, and it's chemical in our body when we live in order. But there are times when all of that gets thrown out the window for an hour, 2 hours, which will be the impact for me, a couple hours. Could be days, months, years, an unexpected illness. It's so important to give ourselves grace. And that's why my word of the year is prioritize. In this moment, the best thing I could do was to go into the bank with my receipts. Thank God I had them, because toxic trait, don't always. Show them the receipt, discuss with what happened, and have them figure it out. Thank God they did. Thank God they corrected it. Now I'm going to go home, make sure I see it on the computer, on my online banking. After I run to the store, I got to pick up a prescription. Poor Yvonne, yet another prescription. Although what I'll say about Yvonne is she had her 20-week ultrasound where they look at all the organs, count the toes, count the fingers, and her sweet baby looks 100% healthy, no issues. Everything with Yvonne looks good. She has had a tough pregnancy, a lot of underlying issues, which is why I'm getting her a medication today. And I'm going to pick up some shampoo that I need for myself while I'm there, soap, and that will be it. I'll head home. And then usually when I've been out and about, at my age now, turning 60 here in little less than 6 months, I need to reset myself, maybe have a cup of coffee, sit down for a minute, maybe watch a short video, put my feet up. And it always feels so counterintuitive to do that because I'm already feeling late with what I plan to get done today. But if I do that, I'm going to have so much more stamina. If I give myself some time to transition from the energy I use to do this to the energy I'm going to use to do that, it helps me so much. And so in case that would help you too, I wanted to be sure and mention it. So know that when you see me running around the house, hopefully running, getting things done, I had an interruption. I went home and I put my feet up for a half an hour, drank a cup of coffee. It's not just a lickety-split life. And I can enjoy cleaning, but not if I start out tired, if I start out anxious. It just, here's your reminder to slow it down and let some things go if you have to, or let them go on tomorrow's list. So I hope that helps somebody. I hope it's not like, girl, get to the cleaning. We don't want to hear that. So, love you all. All right, we got some supplies in. I got some Schweppes ginger ale. I get some willows. We call these pussy willows. I'll show you where I'm going to put them. Description. I wanted to try some cold brew with my Optivia mocha shake. 2 bottles of Dove conditioner and shampoo. One for me, one for one of my daughters. And then some Dove soap. Ripe avocados, 5 of them. Staple here. My favorite creamer, which I had, but it wasn't the 0 sugar. And then the 99-cent per pound deal this week was the whole chicken, and I didn't get one before, so I thought I would get one now. Let's see, where's the bag go? Ugh. My Optivia order came, so I got 2 boxes of mocha shake mix, which I love to have in my iced coffee. 2 boxes of maple brown sugar, oatmeal, 1 box of apple cinnamon oatmeal, 2 boxes of the chicken noodle soup. Oh, I guess, yeah, 1 box. Oh my goodness, that one's already, look, I hate it when that happens. And then 2 boxes of the drizzled chocolate fudge crisp bar, which is my favorite bar. And then I got 1 pudding, fudge pudding, and 2 boxes of chocolate brownie mix. Then I got a couple of packages. I'm in my cleaning wear right now. This is a Christmas t-shirt, but it's my most comfortable one. So since it's going to be a cleaning day, I thought, let's be comfortable. Out of my business casual wear from the bank. I really thought this was framed. So that's sad. This is going on our family picture wall right there. Here's my plan, but I'm gonna have to get a frame for it. It says, "I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth." 3 John 1:4. And then I got these for each of the girls so that I can pass along all of their files and take them out of my filing cabinet. Is this laundry clean or dirty, Yvonne?
In the dryer?
No, in the basket in the hall.
Oh, that's all dirty.
I really like to get my bed changed, the sheets, once a week, but if that doesn't happen, you know, it's okay. I feel like when the goal is once a week, then I can kind of let go of, you know, if I made the goal every 2 weeks or once a month, then if I didn't hit it, it might be a while before it happened. Whereas if my goal is once a week, then when that doesn't happen, it would be something, it'd be something I had scheduled to do the next week. Oh, I forgot to get out new pillowcases. All right, let me grab those. One of these days, I'll get back to putting a set of sheets in a pillowcase. It's just something I need to do when it comes out of the wash. Maybe I'll do it when these come out of the wash. Whew. But I love the idea of clean sheets so much. Someone else remarked how I have a lot of blankets and that they would feel smothered. I can imagine. I think I like to feel smothered is the problem. Or not the problem. It's obviously not a problem for me. I love having a lot of blankets, and then I like to have my room icy cold so that I have more incentive to snuggle under the blankets. Oops, it's inside out. Also, I didn't always have 2 sets of sheets, so I'm loving having more than 1 set of sheets now, because what usually would happen is by the time my sheets came out of the dryer, I was too tired to put them back on the bed. And I'd not make my husband, I'd ask my husband to do it, which is fine, he could do it. But it was always like at night when he's tired too, and I'm like, I'm too tired, could you do it for me? So of course he did. But this way, I can make the bed as soon as I unmake the bed. Now there is some argument for keeping your bed unmade, letting the mattress air out. So it wouldn't be a terrible thing for sure to do this and then air the mattress out for an hour or so. You know, even if you want to get it made right away. To be honest, I would rather get the bed made and not have that hanging over my head than to let it air out. Oh my. I don't like feeling like something's undone or half done. Excuse me. Part of that is because I'm afraid I won't have the energy later to do it, because I go from hero to zero. I can have all the energy in the world, and then 10 minutes later what I call fizzle, and I have 0 energy. So it always makes me feel better if I can get it done right away. So this makes me feel much, much better. So, you know, my resets, I love to be able to change the sheets on the bed and get food in for the week, meal plan. My food area is tidy, like the fridge, the pantry. Although I don't know that the pantry is going to happen today. I would like the fridge to happen. We'll just have to see. So you might see the pantry at a later time. I don't even think it's important to reset, you know, the same day every week or all in one day. To me, the reset is just having a list of things that you know you do weekly to keep everything on track. So, you know, you could take one of those things every day. Certainly doesn't need to all be done the same day. You know, for me, a reset is just, I think of it as resetting the house for the week, because that's how our weeks run, is more on a Monday to Friday schedule. But not everybody lives that schedule, for sure. I know for some people, let's say your husband works away for the week, comes home on the weekends. I certainly wouldn't be doing this if I was only going to get to spend 2 full days with my husband every week. You know, my husband works from home, and he does have Saturday, Sunday off, but he also has projects he wants to do on the weekend, so that does give me time. But today, as I said before, is actually Friday, so if we have like a lot of DIY things, or if we need to go on errands on Saturday, on those weeks, I need to do these types of things more on a Friday. I also need to take my mattress completely off this bed one of these days and wash the bed skirt and see if it comes out good, because it's pretty dirty from dragging on the ground, and from from times that I have, you know, made the bed or whatever, it's all crooked, so it's not pretty right now. Oh, this is tight. I wonder if it shrunk. Hanging my head on the wall. Isn't that nice? Hopefully it won't pop off. I have a really thick mattress. And I did get this sheet at Walmart right before my family came for Christmas. It is very soft. It said it advertised that it was soft, and then this is jersey material. It's one I already had. I didn't buy a top sheet because at the time I was trying to buy as little as possible, and my son and daughter-in-law brought their own blankets and top sheet to be helpful, so I wouldn't have to buy so much because I needed stuff. So I wouldn't mind going back certainly before spring and getting those sheets a total set, because they are very cooling and comfortable and soft, and they weren't expensive at all. Probably paid, I don't know, $13 at the most for the fitted sheet. There it is. Now I brought the laundry up here so I could fold it on my bed. Honestly, one of you said this bedroom is becoming a nice little sanctuary for me. So true. So if I can do anything up here, this is where I choose to do it. Also, more stuff stays up here than goes downstairs. So it's easier to bring things down than to bring things up. Also, what I love is if I don't get to put these in today, no big tragedy, because my bed is already made with the spare set of sheets. So that's hugely helpful too.
While I'm folding laundry, it's always a good time to watch something, and it kind of gets you through that time period. So I'm watching Jameril Stewart right now. I like her because her videos tend to be long and chatty. So I can kind of just be listening and not necessarily watching closely. Something else I've been watching is Designated Survivor. It's on Netflix with Kiefer Sutherland, when he's just kind of like this common guy who becomes president, and there's a lot of espionage and different things going on, FBI action. It can be a little pie in the sky, in my opinion, of, you know, he's presented, because he's the common man, I guess, he's presented as this, you know, man of high integrity and facing obstacles and overcoming them. And so sometimes the obstacles he's overcoming just seem to go a little too quick, you know, if you know what I mean. But I am really enjoying it, and I like to watch something when I'm editing. Obviously not if I'm doing voiceover or listening to a clip, but if I'm just shortening a clip and taking the ends off and adjusting volume and color and all that, it really does help me to have something kind of on in the background to keep my attention. Maybe I have ADD or ADHD. I don't know. I am the Sesame Street generation, you know, so either way, I do get a little bit restless if I don't have something going on in the background. I've said it before, but I actually enjoy folding laundry. I find it really, really relaxing, and most times I don't mind putting it away. It's not always what I love best, but
For example, seeing all the towels folded up in the pant or in the closet, I like that. It's very satisfying. It's kind of like seeing a well-stocked kitchen. So when I do put laundry away, it makes me feel good that the areas they go in are now full and ready for everyone to use, especially if you're talking about towels, face cloths, dish towels, all of those things. So I do find it super satisfying. I definitely find it satisfying to fold it. I don't know what it is. It's almost a sensory thing, just loving the feeling of nicely folded clothing. My reset is basically, laundry, dishes, any kind of tidy that has been neglected, like the refrigerator, getting food in the house, and a meal plan. I would love to know, do you do a reset day, or do you just kind of in your head make sure you keep up on things? If you do an actual reset day, what day of the week do you prefer to do your reset? Let me know in the comment section below. At least 2 of you mentioned that I had labeled these incorrectly, and I'm sure others hit like, and you were right. So in here I wrote sweatpants and t-shirts, and it's actually sweatpants and tanks. I think it's easier to change it than to change the labels. So here is going to be sweatpants and t-shirts. I'm gonna move the t-shirts over here, because honestly, the pants being the way I want them was more important than the shirts. And I don't know. I just think it's easier to change these than to change the labels. So I'm putting the tanks over here. I tell you, it's so funny. What I always find the funniest is when I lose something and somebody tells me where it is. Still looking for those steamer mop pads though. All right, so that's back where it goes. Curtain goes back. Voila. And now the labels match the clothing that is in the box. So here's our linen closet. I am enjoying the way I have it right now. We don't mind at all reaching over those boxes that have face cloths and short towels in them to reach the shower towel. So it's working out great. And I am hoping to redo this closet here this year. One of you asked what I'm using for my manicure nail kit, and so I thought I would show you that today. I have to admit though, I don't understand all of the tools. I do love the kit, and I love the UV nail dryer, the UV light, and I think it's doing well. And I'm not good at doing my nails, but I'm getting better. So let me show you what is included in the kit. Here is the UV light, and it has the timers on it for drying your nail polish, and I always do double whatever they say, but I have found it works just fine. And the plug comes with it, of course. And then these that you can put your fingers in or your toes in to separate them for doing the manicure. I don't use this. And then this has the buffer and all that, the file. Also, these small nail files, the instructions for the UV light, some stickers for your nails, you know, little design stickers. And then if you wanted to do a French manicure, it has the little guides. This is for your cuticles. It's like an oil. And then the little brush. And then these, I use that when I'm taking off the nail polish. I need to look up how to properly like push my cuticles back. So that's very important. When you get nail polish on your skin, then you can get it off. But if it's going from the nail to the skin and you try to get it off, sometimes you'll peel the manicure like I did right there. See that? So I'm still learning. These, I think you're supposed to use these wipes to take off the nail polish. That is not what I'm using. It also came with this little nail clipper. And then the part I really love, you know, for $35, it came with all of these colors. And then it also came with 2 bottles of top coat, 1 bottle of matte top coat if you want to do a matte manicure, 2 bottles of base coat. And of course you can buy the polishes online separately without the whole kit. But that is a really small bottle, and I'm really glad because there's so many, and I don't want the polish to get old. I don't want to pay for a lot of nail polish, so very happy with that. And here is the company name in case you want to look it up too, and I got it on Amazon. This is what I got on Amazon to remove the gel nail polish, and I got it because you don't have to wrap your nails or anything, but this is what I'll say. When I get it on my skin, and I do have sensitive skin, but still, if it gets on my skin, it burns. So, and it gave you the file buffer thing as well. And this, which I haven't used, I've been using what is in my nail kit to push off. I mean, it does work in like 3 to 5 minutes. It all bubbles up and then it's easy to push off with a tool. But again, when I get it on my skin, it does burn. Okay, we're keeping the laundry rolling. Someone who I will not mention by name, who might be under the alias Yvonne, was keeping a stockpile of towels and face cloths in her bedroom. And so those were revealed. And so I am helping out by just letting them roll on through the washer and the dryer. My preference, of course, is that everyone use the towel, bring it for me to wash, you know, just throw it in the washing machine because we don't separate, so everything just gets thrown in. If something needs to be separated, it doesn't go in with the general stuff, which is why there's a sweater on top of the basket to my left, is because that needs to be washed on delicate. Okay, here's some of our little daily chatter. Is this your pink cup?
Is there one on the table by my computer on the left? I was just drinking water.
That's on the table. I just want to make sure before I put it in the dishwasher that nobody's going to get mad at me.
No, that's probably home.
Okay. You want it?
I just asked you a question. You didn't
I'm
answer.
sorry.
Yes, that's
We
mine.
started talking
So
to you.
you can leave it. Okay, I'm still drinking.
All right, I'm still drinking.
Could be all day.
Could be all day. Oh, did you see I bought ginger ale? It's on the. This I have to see.
What's that?
I can never get a plug in that because it's too tight to the fridge.
It works for me. I just have to get the rating on it. Done.
They're
Did you film
amazing. No. Should have.
Seriously. Have you seen the one with that dude from the Verizon commercial?
No.
Where he looks behind the refrigerator and then he puts his hand in to plug it in and there's another hand with a glove that's whacking it out of the way.
Funny.
And then he pulls his hand back and he looks again and there's nothing in the way. He puts his hand in and there's nothing. It's really funny. Listen to me.
Oh, stop it. Listen to you any day, baby. All right. The first thing I need to do is these. They haven't been done in a while. So this is definitely a New Year's fridge clean out. And this is a cat medicine that we don't need anymore.
thank goodness. Chocolate chips. I admit my refrigerator is a hot mess, and you can see into the dining room. I still have the Optivia foods to put away, so I have a long way to go in the kitchen. You will see a lot of it coming up later this week. So today, as I am putting this video up, it is January 19th on a Sunday, and the following Wednesday is the next time you will see a video. We're going to keep organizing and resetting for the new year. We're going to keep decluttering. I am very excited that I'm ready to kind of do a once, other than my pantry and fridge, of course, I'm ready to kind of do once through my main areas of my house and make sure everything has been decluttered. But if we're not there, we are so very close. And then heading down to the basement, excited about that, excited about a new layer of decluttering and organizing in the basement. And I know you guys love that too. That's definitely coming up. You can see the dirt coming off of these things. It had been a while since I had done these doors. Oh, my. So if you're not subscribed, and you think that might be a good idea, so you can make sure to know whenever I upload a new video so you don't miss, especially whenever those basement declutters come, excited to have a whole new level of organizing and decluttering in 2025, as well as taking care of some of the projects around the house that I had planned for last year and they didn't happen. So we just go ahead and we keep on trying. I also want to continue to share, my feelings and thoughts as I grow older and helping my adult children be independent of me and, knowing when to step in and when to keep my mouth quiet is going to be an ongoing challenge that I know that we all face. So back to the refrigerator. As I am going, I am checking expiration dates. So my husband's blue cheese dressing right there was one of the things that I realized had been expired. Also, as I was editing and I'm watching this, I realized, for example, he needs more of that blue cheese dressing. And so I went right on my grocery store website and I threw it in a grocery cart so that as I make my grocery list later in the week, those things will already be in there that we need, but are not entirely immediate. And so I'm starting to do that more of whenever I think of something, rather than just writing it on a list on the refrigerator, I go right to my grocery store website and I put it in the cart there. And that way it's already there when I go to put up my new grocery list, because 9.5 times out of 10, I have groceries delivered. Once you get free of the grocery store, it is awful hard to go back. The only time I go in now is when we have a prescription to fill. And so then I might pick up a few things, but even then I tend not to pick up a ton. As you saw, I had just gone and got a few things, and that was because I also had a prescription and needed to go to the bank. And quite honestly, I drink so much in the morning, I needed to use the bathroom, and that was a public restroom that I could stop in. So it does feel good to get these doors done. I was really hoping to get the main refrigerator done, and I never even got started. There's probably, I would say, most definitely, how's that? Stuff that needs to go in the trash that is in their leftovers that I know no one is going to eat. For example, there's some leftover zuppa soup from when we had the zuppa toscano soup. We didn't end up having the chicken soup, and that needs to be tossed out. So I know no one's going to eat it, and it got saved because someone else was doing the dishes and it wasn't me. I probably wouldn't have saved it. It's probably about one bowl's worth. You hate to waste food, but I'd rather waste it than put it in the fridge, let it get bad, and then waste it. It's much easier and much less smelly if you just get rid of it when you know no one's going to eat it. So as I'm doing this, my husband was doing a little bit of a little job that he's been wanting to get to for a couple weeks now. I have two girls that are in the room that has a cathedral ceiling. It used to be kind of a teen hangout room. Now it is a bedroom. And we switched these sliding doors to open into their room, as you can see.
So on the kitchen side, it is hard to pull them shut without handles. So he's putting handles on. Mama needs this because I don't want to see into their room when it's not tidy. I would prefer just to shut the doors and pretend it's not even there. And I have thought about painting these doors so that they're the wall color. I do feel like it darkens the room a little bit when they're closed, but I'm letting myself get used to the doors being shut and then see if it really does bother me after all. We just got a new Shark vacuum and I haven't had an opportunity to really show it yet. In fact, my husband's the only one who's used it. He had gotten some sawdust on the floor. And for those of you who are worried that my house is too cold and that's why Yvonne is always saying it's cold, there was my other daughter in shorts. So it's really just that Yvonne gets cold super easily. But I normally have my thermostat set to 72 for her sake. Years ago, it was always on 68 degrees in the winter. So now it is on 72 degrees and she is just always cold. Also, there's Leo. I know that he is on my kitchen island. I apologize. It is what it is. But he is healthy now, just so that you all know. And he's in complete remission from his autoimmune disorder. We're finishing up the medication, but he is back to himself, up into everybody's business, being a bit of a tool sometimes, as only Leo can, giving Woozy a run for his money, which is our other cat. So I'm just so thankful that he is better. So checking expiration dates here too, even though I was pretty sure. Actually, 2 cream cheeses came out and only 1 went back in because one of those was expired. We don't actually use cream cheese a lot, so when we get it, honestly, it's a challenge to use before it expires. And someone had put an empty salsa back, so that went into the trash as well. But all of the rest of these, the dates were fine, so they came out. I cleaned up the shelves and then they went right back in. I also love that I can kind of reorganize as I'm taking things out, and then the doors look so pretty. And I can't wait to do that on the main fridge. It's coming up. I just fizzled before I could get it done. I have to say, I often will procrastinate doing the refrigerator. It's definitely one of those jobs where I am not tempted to pull every single thing out of the fridge, if for no other reason than that it takes too long and I feel like stuff is getting too warm on the countertop. I always do one shelf at a time, because if I have a day like today and I just fizzle out and I cannot finish, I can just finish up that one shelf and then know the next time I get an opportunity, I'm just going to continue where I left off. And you know, there's times when by the time I finish the whole fridge, it's time to start over again. And that's okay. I'd really rather do that than burn myself out so much. So one of the things we had in the refrigerator was pizza dough. We had bought pizza dough so that everyone could make their own pizzas. And we had one left over that needed to be used. My husband decided to try making pretzels. So on the stove, he has water and baking soda, and he is getting his dough prepared and cut, and he's going to make little pizza bites. So he cut it in strips first, and then he cut it in little nugget sizes, dropped it in the water for boiling, and then he put it in the oven, and when it came out, he covered it with melted butter and salt. They tasted super good. Great way to use pizza crust. Of course, you could also use pizza crust as breadsticks. We had thought about doing that one night, and we never did do it. So he is making sure to do this before the dough is no longer good, because I had thawed it out. I'm following you.
I wasn't trying to do anything sneaky. There we go. Alright, I think we're in steady here.
While he is making the pizza bites, I am emptying the dishwasher. So it is late afternoon, and I always like to make sure the dishwasher gets emptied before supper so that we can get it filled again. I had hoped to I have this broccoli cheddar low-carb soup I've been dying to make. So hopefully you'll be seeing that in the next video. Because if I don't make it pretty soon, the Greek yogurt that I'm supposed to put in it is not going to be any good. But on this night, we were making the macaroni and cheese that was on the meal plan. And I also sliced Brussels sprouts real thin. I
cooked some bacon, and then I cooked the Brussels sprouts in the bacon fat, and I cut up the bacon and added it back in. So yummy, with a bit of garlic and salt and pepper.
I can take care of it.
Thank you. I'm dying here. Here are those cute little nuggets that he put in the oven. What a great idea. I think he saw a YouTube short on this. He loves to watch YouTube shorts. He loves to work with dough. Not quite sure what's going on there. I think maybe he could have put more baking soda in. They were super soft, so that worked. But he wished they were crispier on the outside. He wished he would have turned them twice in the oven so both sides would have, or maybe he didn't turn them at all, but he felt like only one side was crispy. I mean, they were so good. They got eaten right up the same day. Everybody gobbled them down. So they were really, really good. But I think he'll do it again and see if he can't perfect the outside texture.
Then you're going to bake these?
Yep. They go in the oven. Whoops, sorry.
Sorry, it didn't actually hit me. Just scared
For
me.
400 degrees for 15 minutes.
How long will you put them in the oven for?
400 degrees for 15 minutes.
Oh.
But I just told
Oh, I have...
you got headphones on. It's okay. I'm sorry.
This is how my husband relaxes. So if he'll eat his lunch while he works, but if he takes a lunch break from work where he works from home, he'll do something like this. It doesn't take too terribly long and then go back to work. He has one of those jobs where, I mean, he often will start at 6:30 in the morning and end at 4:30 in the afternoon. So that's a 10-hour day. But he really has a job that's more reliant on getting the job done over working a certain amount of hours. And so it does give some freedom once in a while for him to do these things. But then the other side of it is sometimes weekends can be long if he is on call. There's the mess.
I had mentioned a cat gate in one of my videos and then got distracted, and one of you asked if I would go into more detail about that. The cats have their own apartment in the basement that they sleep at night, so they don't wake me up in the middle of the night. And we put a baby gate right here so that they're not scratching or pounding at the door. Usually we would keep the baby gate against a wall in the dining room, which really bothered me. So this was the solution. My husband took some inexpensive hooks from Lowe's. He put them on the framing here. Oopsies. Come on, Karen. And then when we don't have a camera in our hands, we hang it right there. And usually it's straight when my husband does it, but I did it, so now it's crooked. But anyway, that has solved the problem for me, and I feel a lot better about it not looking messy in the dining room. I have officially fizzled, so that is all I'm getting done in the refrigerator for today is the 2 doors, which I'm really glad because the last, I think 2 times I have cleaned the fridge, I didn't do the doors. I'm tired. It's like 2:45. There was something else. Oh! One of you had said, you guys are really helping me, like keeping the master bedroom for myself. As a mom, you can feel like, you know, people say things like, you're only as happy as your saddest child, which as a mother of 7, I have to reject that thinking, or I would never be happy because, you know, with 7 kids, things are happening. Life is hard. And I want to weep with those who weep. I want to laugh with those who laugh. But at the same time, there has to be a sense of underlying joy. And I just was having this conversation with Yvonne about mourning when something bad happens. I was saying to her, you know, you cry when you need to, but you laugh when you can, without feeling guilty that you're laughing in the middle of a very grief-stricken situation. If someone you love passes, it doesn't mean you didn't love them because you're laughing at a joke or because you watched a comedy to cheer yourself up. You know, it just means that you have to keep moving, keep putting one foot in front of the other and survive. All that to say, one of you had said something to the effect of, you know, taking care of yourself instead of, you know, taking care of others to the detriment of yourself.
it wasn't in those words, but could help us all if I would show the way. And I'll be honest, it's something I am working through myself. I have worked very hard over the past few years to kind of let go more on the emotional level of getting too wrapped up in if a teenager is upset with me, if they're mad at me, if they feel in that moment that they hate me. You know, I get too upset about that. I get people pleasing. Ugh, it's gross. And so I've kind of been, you know, I don't feel I spoiled my children. Yes, my kids do work around the house. I don't film it if they don't want to be filmed. I just was giving Yvonne a hard time because you know she loves to be filmed, and she just cleaned the downstairs bathroom a couple days ago, and I'm like, next time let me know and I'll bring down a camera. Her sister Crecia also will just randomly do dishes. She will randomly clean up the bathroom. Yvonne will randomly do dishes. She will randomly clean the kitchen, you know, especially if I go out for an evening. They like me to come home and they're like, look what I did. You know, I have to say acts of service is definitely a love language, right up there at the top. And they know this about me. So they do things, but I haven't scheduled it. And I think I got to a place where, you know, you get to a place with teenage angst and then you wade through it and you're driving a hard line. And then you get to a place where you're just like, I think it's easier to do it than to go through whatever I have to go through relationally to have them do it by the time we're done with the process. And I know they know how to do it. So I'm confident that when they go out into the world, they can take care of themselves, take care of a home, and do a really good job. So that, you know, then I got lax in the planning part of that. And, you know, they'll cook. My daughter Rachel at 26 is doing a lot of the logistical phone calls from me. She represents our family to the veterinarian, for example. She takes care of all those calls. She's offered to find doctors, psychiatrists, whatever we need. She offers to find it. She's good at it. So, but hopefully I can figure out ways not only to improve, because as I said, I've done a good job emotionally disconnecting, but now I'm just sensing God saying to me, it's time to disconnect in other areas, you know, and sorting out their pictures and giving their pictures. I haven't actually handed anyone their pictures yet. I felt like I needed to go through them and pick out any ones I might want. But like, for example, if someone lives here, I could give them their pictures and I could go back and be like, hey, could I take a copy of this one or that one? I know I could do that. So I think it's coming. It's definitely coming. It's another level of decluttering that I haven't toned my muscles in. Giving over their important documentation, birth certificates, etc., any kind of records, knowing that worst comes to worst, if you lose a document, it happens. Yes, I know they can take pictures, back it up online, all the things, but without making it another job for me, I'm preparing to declutter my papers, and involved in that will be giving them their paperwork. So I'm going to try to remember to keep updating you on the things I'm doing as I grow older, to give them the reins of their own life and more of the reins of responsibility if they're going to be adults continuing to live in my home. And if I don't update you, you know, continue to ask. There's nothing wrong with asking in the comment section. I think if I was ever tempted to be offended by that, it's really because I'm insecure. It's not because what you're asking is a bad question. So I hope that does explain things a little bit. And I can, you know, I always want to share with you all as much of my life as I can share without offending anyone in my family or giving details I shouldn't share about someone else's life and someone else's story, of keeping it to my story. It's a tough balance to maintain, but I think it is worth it to risk making a mistake for the right reasons. I'm not really worried about people showing up to my home. I'm not that big of a, you know, whatever. My channel's not that big that I have to worry about those things. Anyway,
I'm starting to ramble now, so I'm going to stop. I hope that does explain some things. I'll see you Wednesday. Remember, as always, God loves you, and I love you too, and I can't wait to see you next time.